Do you remember that trend in 2020 that had teenage girls wearing long, oversized t-shirts and scrunchies? Well, if you don't, let me remind you. This is a Visco girl. One thing that was essential to the Visco girl look were hydroflasks. Before this trend, hydroflasks were almost unheard of, so I took the liberty of researching about these colorful and trendy water bottles. I looked up the origin of the hydroflask, what materials were used to make the hydroflask so great, and what other brands might be trying to compare to the hydroflask. Let's flow into the origin of the hydroflask. The CEO of Hydroflask did an interview with the Seattle Times about this very topic. He stated that the company started with a couple named Travis and Cindy in Oregon. They were unhappy with the water bottles that were being sold, so they decided to make their own. The company was founded in 2009 at a local market. By 2011, the company hit $2 million in revenue, according to Pipe Candy. But the couple sadly broke up. They sold their shares to the now CEO, Scott Allen. But the couple is regretting this decision now because the company is projected to make between $25 million and $50 million just this year alone. I know for one that my bank account gets a dent in it every time I buy a new hydro flask, but let's not dent your new hydro flask, and let's instead see what the hydro flask is made of. Everyone knows that the hydro flask is made of stainless steel, but there are a lot of water bottles that are made out of stainless steel. So what really makes a hydro flask so great? According to CNN, the hydro flask is made up of 2 walls of stainless steel. Hydro flasks themselves say that this stainless steel is pro-grade and can withstand anything that life throws at it. I can surely vouch for this because my hydro flask has gone through some serious damage and it still works like a charm. Between these two layers of stainless steel, there's a vacuum-packed space. This vacuum-packed space allows the hydro flask to be sweat-free and allows it to have no heat transfer. Almost every hydro flask comes with a standard lid. This standard lid has a honeycomb structure that allows the hydro flask to be zero leakage, and it helps with the insulation of the water bottle. The hydro flask comes in a plethora of colors, such as this gray color named Stone, this orange color named Starfish, and even this pink color named Hibiscus. Although these colors are pleasing to the eye, they also play a big part in making the hydro flask the best on the market. The hydro flasks are made with a long-lasting powder coat that allows the hydro flask to be dishwasher safe and slip-free. Let's take a big sip of our ice-cold water and move on to what other brands might compare to the hydro flask. Grandview Research did a poll about reusable water bottles globally. The market is said to cost about $8 billion in 2020 and was expected to continue rising. Good Housekeeping made a list of the top 12 water bottles. I went over all these water bottles and figured out which ones I thought compared best to the hydro flask. First, we have the Camelback and the Nalgene water bottles. They are made out of plastic and don't have the same insulation properties as the hydro flask, so they cannot compare. The hydro jug has become very popular in the gym world, but it is also made of plastic and cannot compare to the hydro flask. W&P has made a glass water bottle, but glass is not made out of stainless steel, so again, it cannot hold up to the hydro flask. There are a lot more water bottles on this top 12 list, but the ones that closely relate to the hydro flask the best are the Takia water bottles and the Swell water bottles. Although they are made out of the same material as the hydro flask, buyers just don't seem to like them as much and flow to their beloved hydro flask, so they also cannot compare. Now for the water bottle you have all been thinking about, the Yeti. Product Playoffs recognizes that the Yeti and the Hydroflask are very similar and can almost not be compared. So they instead said that the Hydroflask comes with more colors and better customization options. They also said that the Hydroflask costs about $20 less than the Yeti, which to me is a huge selling point. I, for one, own a total of 5 Hydroflasks and 0 Yetis, so I can't really be the judge of this one. Today, I've become a Visco girl and studied the origin of the Hydroflask, the materials used to make the Hydroflask so great, and what other brands might compare to the Hydroflask. I must go pick up a new one at Scheels. There's my Uber. Catch you later.